Do you know what time it is, everybody? That's right. It's time for another exciting YouTube video of KROG Talk Sports. I'm KROG, and I'm talking sports to you today. Oh, let me fix this first. I have shit falling on my elbow there. There we go. Anyways, I'm KROG, and I'm talking sports, and today we're going to talk to you about baseball. Mainly the craziness that has been the 2023 MLB playoffs. You had all sorts of teams that were, projected to go places. You had the Atlanta Braves, you had the Baltimore Orioles, LA Dodgers. Everybody was thinking they could do some damage, even maybe the Milwaukee Brewers. Out, out, and out, and out, because there's four teams and I can only count to three apparently. Anyways, so we have made it to the championship round. I guess you could call it the league championships before the real championship, the World Series, takes place. So we have, in the American League, we have two teams that finished with identical records and were battling for the AL West title all season long. The 90-win Houston Astros and the 90-win Texas Rangers both finished 90 and 72. The Astros won the season series, so they, by virtue of that, won the American League West title, which is something they have done plenty of over the last 7 years. Also going to the ALCS for their seventh straight year. That, too, is also impressive and a record that should not be overlooked, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we have them in the American League West, and in the National League is where it gets really nutty. We have, again, another 90-win team in the Philadelphia Phillies, led by Bryce Harper, going up against the 84 and 78. How the fuck did you even make the playoffs? Arizona Diamondbacks. So we have that, and that's the first pitch for that is tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Game 1, first pitch tonight in the American League Series at 8:15 on Fox. So you might want to tune into that if I really don't know what else is happening today. I think there's like 2 NHL games. So, and there's, obviously football because it's Sunday night, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about the craziness that is the MLB playoffs in 2023. So as I mentioned earlier, there were some titans, just absolute monster teams that just breezed through the regular season and pooped the bed, let's just say that, in the playoffs there. So we had the Atlanta Braves, who put together one of the best seasons I've seen from a major league team in the 20 years or so. They finished with 104 wins. They had 5 guys hit at least 30 home runs, and they were by far and away the favorites going into the playoffs to not only win the National League pennant, but the World Series pennant. Out in 4 in the best of 5 in the American League Divisional Series. They lost to the Philadelphia Phillies in 4 games. It was just madness what happened there. The Baltimore Orioles, a lot of people said they kind of came out of nowhere this year. I was one of them. And a lot of people foolishly said they were going to go to the World Series to represent the American League. I didn't really see it this year because they're really young and inexperienced. They got absolutely trucked by the Texas Rangers in 3 straight games. They got swapped. They got the broom treatment. And it wasn't even really close. It's not like, they lost, one game, or the game in Texas, they lost in a walk-off or anything like that. Then they lost, gave up a go-ahead home run in the 8th inning in the 2 games in Baltimore. No, they just got completely fucking spanked. It was embarrassing. And speaking of embarrassing, in the first video I did of this KROG Talk Sports series, I talked about how embarrassing my Toronto Blue Jays were when they lost to the Minnesota Twins in 2 games in the best of 3 American League wildcard series against the Minnesota Twins. As pissed as I am about the Blue Jays, I would be even more upset if I were an LA Dodgers fan. You have a team that has continuously won over 100 plus games. Last year they won 111 games. And they can't get out of the first round, it seems like. And if they do, they go to the World Series and they choke. The only year they did make it to the World Series and won the damn thing was in the COVID season, which was a 60-game season. I'm not one of those people. I don't, shit on teams that won championships during the COVID years. It's still a championship. You still had to play the games. You still had to win. And the Dodgers, I'll give them full credit. They won the World Series that year against the Tampa Bay Rays, fair and square. If the Blue Jays were in there, I'd say the same thing. So I don't discount COVID championships or bubble championships or whatever. It's still a championship. And, ask the Tampa Bay Rays if they're pissed that they lost a bubble championship. They're not going to say that. They're going to be like, no, we're pissed we lost the World Series. But anyways, enough about COVID, enough about that. So let's talk a little bit about the ALCS. We have Justin Verlander, 1-0 with an ERA of 0. Didn't give up an earned run in his previous start in the playoffs. Going up against Jordan Montgomery for Texas tonight. 1-0 his record with a 3.27 ERA. And like I said, I don't know who to really pick in that series. The Astros, they've been to the ALCS for the last 7 straight years. 2017 they beat the Yankees. 2018 lost to the Red Sox. 2019 went to the World Series. I think they beat the Yankees there. I can't remember, but anyways, they've been to the World Series in 4 of the last 6 years. They're looking to make it 5-7. They've won 2 World Series championships. 2017, yes, I know they banged on the garbage cans. They cheated. They still got there. They won. 2022, they redeemed themselves when they beat the Philadelphia Phillies. So that could be a possible rematch if the Phillies can pull through in the National League and the Astros can pull through in the American League. I don't know where we're going with this, but it's just been a crazy postseason, and you never really know what to expect. So we have Game 1 going tonight. Game 1 for the National League Series is tomorrow. First pitch, I believe, is scheduled for 5 o'clock. So, again, Cinderella teams, you never know what to expect with them, but I'd argue there's 4 Cinderella teams. Well, maybe not the Astros. I mean, they had a bit of a down year by their standards, but there are 3 Cinderella teams. Nobody really expected them to make it this far. Even the Phillies, they made it to World Series last year. They kind of just were okay, and then they got hot again, kind of like what they did last year. They struggled. They looked like they were going to be a non-playoff team. They got hot at the right time, squeaked into the playoffs, and went all the way to the World Series. And it was a good World Series against the Astros that they lost last year. It's not going to be like the 91 World Series against, Twins and Braves or anything like that. It's not going to be like that, but it's still, you never know what's going to happen. This could be some great baseball coming down the stretch. So, you never know what to expect. So we have the Astros going tonight against the Rangers, and tomorrow with the Phillies against the D-backs. Like I said, 84 wins, and they squeak into the playoffs, and they not only did they squeak in, they swept the Dodgers in 3, and it wasn't even close. They were up 9-0 in the first game before the Dodgers even swung a bat. They put up 9 runs on Clayton Kershaw in the first inning of the first game of the National League Division Series. Folks, this is going to be entertaining and interesting to watch. So, if you're a fan of playoff baseball, even if you're just a fan of playoff sports in general, we should watch this because we don't know what the hell's going to happen. This is the first time in Major League history that the teams that have made it to the championship rounds, so the National League Championship Series and the American League Championship Series, won 90 games or fewer. There are no teams that have, there's no 95 win teams, no powerhouse teams that won 100 games or anything like that. These are all middle of the pack teams, and if it were under the old playoff format, most of these teams wouldn't have been in the playoffs. Houston would have been the only team that qualified for the playoffs under the old format where there was just the 3 divisional winners and the wild card teams playing a 1-game wild card showdown. That's it. That would have been it. There would have been one of these teams in the playoffs, but because due to the expanded playoff format that was implemented last year, in the 2022 season, we get this now. So, people can bitch and complain, the expanded playoffs fucked us, blah, blah. I don't care. I really don't care. If the Atlanta Braves fans are really that upset, or the Atlanta Braves in general are that upset that they got 104 wins and had and lost to a wild card team. Play better. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Same with Baltimore, same with Dodgers, same with everybody. If you're that pissed that you lost to a team that made the expanded playoff format, or made the playoffs under the expanded playoff format, I guess I should say, play better. That's all I got to say. So, crazy playoffs, crazy time. The Texas Rangers haven't lost a playoff game. They swept the Tampa Bay Rays 2 straight in the American League Wild Card Series in Tampa Bay in front of 4 people because attendance in Tampa Bay is a complete joke. Complete, absolute joke. Why do they have a team? Why do we have a team in Tampa? They're continuously one of the best teams in the American League, and every year, shit attendance. Get rid of them. Move them to Montreal. Move them somewhere. I don't give a shit. Get them the fuck out of Tampa Bay. It is garbage. Can't allow it. Can't allow it. But I'm not going to talk about relocating the Tampa Bay Rays because right now they're irrelevant because they're not playing baseball. There's 4 teams left. The Houston Astros, the Texas Rangers, the Philadelphia Phillies, and somehow the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game on, people. First pitch of the American League Series goes tonight. You got Verlander and Jordan Montgomery. Tomorrow, I don't know who. I forget who's starting for the National League Series, but this is going to be a fun couple weeks left in the baseball season, folks. You have Texas Rangers, who have never won a World Series. You have Arizona Diamondbacks, who were a Cinderella team in 2001, won their World Series. The Atlanta Braves, not the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies. The Atlanta Braves lost to the Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies last one in 2008, and the Houston Astros are the defending World Series champions. So, let's fucking go! Game 1, American League Series tonight. Game 2 of the American League Series goes tomorrow. Game 1 for the National League Series tomorrow at 5, followed by Game 2 on Tuesday. Everybody, take care. Have yourself a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later. All right. Peace!